hardest part of playing alongside him was what?
People laugh at me when I say it, but
Life highlight for you had to be not only winning the championship, but then I understand what sticks out more to many of your teammates was that parade. What was it about that?
I think the parade, it was just, not only were we so hungry and the fact that we came back in the manner that we did from a 3-1 deficit and everybody had counted us out. We did it for the city and for the city of Cleveland, state of Ohio. There was just so much riding on that. There was a 52-year major sports championship drought. You could tell they hadn't had a parade quite like that in so long. There was just people we were able to reach out and touch from our respective cars or our respective floats, and that was definitely a highlight and something that I had never quite experienced or seen before.
And it was supposed to last, what, like 45 minutes
45
or an hour?
minutes, it was 3.5 hours, yeah.
LeBron, what do you think makes him successful?
I think what makes LeBron successful is his brain. In some ways, he's chasing ghosts. In some ways, he's creating barriers that he wants to not only break through, but explode through. So his always says strive for greatness. I mean, I've seen it firsthand, in the way he takes care of his body, what he does when he's in practice, the tone he sets, always trying to get better. I mean, he never stops. I mean, you saw it this year where it could have been easy to lay down and you're in the bubble and there's no fans, and he was able to dig deep and somehow get the best out of himself and his teammates. So that's just a true, not only testament to his greatness on the floor, but a testament to his character. And I'll always, always, always have his back.
Hardest part of playing alongside him was what?
People laugh at me when I say it, but he just takes everybody, it's almost like a planet. He just takes everybody into his orbit. And he obviously expects a lot from you. I think the greatest players in the world do, or the greatest players ever do. And that was something he knew that I was going to have to sacrifice. I didn't know what that meant when I got to Cleveland, but it was the best thing and best move that I ever made, was to be a part of something special in a winning team like that, and to be a part of that team with LeBron as well. While it seems so easy, it was tough for me to do because I just I pass up open shots. I was overly critical of myself. I wasn't allowing myself to play my game.
Yeah, but I mean, I think at one point he calls you out on social, right? Like,
that was way before that. Yeah, no, the only thing for me was, all I wanted was recognition that, hey, listen, guys, like, I'm sacrificing a lot here. Like, I gave up likely the most on the team to be here and try to win. All I want is just the recognition for that, and we can move on.
How did that sacrifice compare to what you would have expected going into it?
Just that, I'd gone from being a number one option, a guy that touched the ball and played the game from the inside out, touched the ball, quite often, almost 20 shots a game, to then being really a floor spacer, a defensive rebounder. It was tough to accept, but, for the greater good, I think that taught me so much. And in my evolution as not only a player, but a person, I think it was huge for me. Like, you have that common goal, and what are you going to sacrifice and what are you going to give up to get there? And while I wasn't putting up those same numbers, we were able to get the best out of each other, and that was what counted in the end. And we have the proof to show for it. We got a Larry O'Brien trophy and a ring.
How did you realize he was going to leave?
I mean, I think we all had a pretty good idea after we got swept in the finals in 2018, but. No, I think it was, just a next step in his evolution. I think all of Cleveland was very thankful that he kept his promise, came back, won a championship, and it was just a special ride, and it was the next thing for him.
The most personally challenging part on your end of the past couple seasons would be what?
I would say just going from that level, being a team that was expected to make the finals, if not win an NBA championship as well, to a team that was, rebuilding and potentially, didn't and wouldn't make the playoffs. So I think that was probably the toughest part for me at this stage in my career to have to deal with.
Why do you think you have not been traded?
It's been nonstop. The
Since you got there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
since
right.
I got there. It's funny because I don't know. I think it's going to be even more harder now and more complex if the team was looking to move me, because we just don't know how the numbers are going to shake out after, this year and the salary cap and the CBA. But
What do you think the argument is for and against it?
I think my number's high. I think I'm the oldest player on the team. I think the team wants to go young. I think that's a good reason for it. And then, I also think I can add a ton of value as a shooting big, a guy that's, can play inside out, can really rebound the basketball, just is, still a really great player, has a number of great years left. That's a hard question for me to answer without, swaying one way or the other.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you have strong interest in player coach type role eventually.
I think early on in my career I did, and I have that response because it's tough. It's a league, especially head coaches now. Maybe in our league more than any other league. It's what have you done for me lately? And I think there's a tough dynamic, with the team and ownership and with the general managers. Like, you guys all have to be on the same page. And so I could see myself in some sort of, supplementary role, but as far as being a head coach, I just don't see it in the cards for me.
When you're with Minnesota, set the scene and take me through what happens on the contract front when I think you're in the player training room and all of a sudden the GM comes in and throws something at you.
A lot of what went on there for a few years was not normal and still haven't seen till today and probably never will again. But I was handed the contract and I was told to look it over right then and there. And I just showered, like I'm in my towel, and I'm about to get dressed. And I just said, I knew this wasn't right. So I just kind of, threw it off to the side. People say I threw it in the trash, right next to the trash. And I was like, speak this over with my agent. I want to be here long term. I want, and I feel like I've proved myself and, worked my butt off and, know what I deserve. But I guess, they felt different.
You said, I have a very good memory, and I always remember the people who've done right by me and the people who've done wrong by me. Elaborate on that.
I was young. I mean, honestly, I'm such a different person now. It's funny to hear some of the things I said, or I just had, people that, really had my back, and I felt I was, somebody that was willing to be in a tough situation and help a team grow and help an organization grow, and they felt another way, and I think that's pretty much ultimately what led to us parting ways.